You've been scrolling through all the job ads and you finally found a job that reads as if it was meant for you. You've got the skills, the drive, and the motivation that they're looking for. So you click apply and you submit your cover letter and your resume. And you're fully expecting to get an interview and ultimately to get this job. However, the next day you wake up and in your inbox is a rejection letter. What went wrong? Well, it could have possibly been your resume. So your resume is your opportunity to really impress your future employer. It's where you showcase your skills and your experience. So it's really a great way to think about it as if it's the best version of your professional self. So in today's video, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to write a resume and to really stand out from the crowd. The amount of time a recruiter spends looking at your resume can vary, so it really depends on the number of resumes they need to review and their workload. However, studies have shown that recruiters generally spend about 6 seconds scanning your resume to determine whether they put it in the acceptance pile or the rejection pile. So my first tip for you is to keep your resume really concise. Make sure your resume is no longer than 2 pages long. Because remember, the recruiter only has about 6 seconds to scan your resume to determine if they put you in the approval pile or the rejection pile. So it's really important to have a clean layout and to put all the most relevant information up the top of the page so the recruiter is able to read that. Use dot points to make it really easy to read. So with your resume, the most relevant information will be your contact details. You may want to also follow that up with an objective section so the recruiter knows what your goals are. And then your education and, importantly, your most recent job. Recruiters just want the most relevant information up the top, and they want you to make it easy for them to determine whether they should keep you or reject you. If your resume is 5 pages long, they're going to reject you because you haven't kept it concise and the relevant information that they or the recruiter wants to read is no longer there on the page and it won't be brought to their attention. So you're really doing yourself a disservice. So now I'm going to show you 2 examples of a good way to lay out your resume. So here is a 1-page resume. So at the top we've got a name in bold and large font. And then next to it, address, email address, and phone number. So as you can see, the next section is career objectives / summary. So this is an optional section. You don't necessarily have to complete it, but here you can outline the role that you're currently seeking and what your career goals are, any qualifications you want to bring to the attention of the recruiter, and just a brief summary of any work history that you may want to bring to their attention. And then next, you can go to education. Now this should be quite brief, just an outline of marks and results that you've received and a list of any internships or work experience that you might have done during the education period, if it is relevant. But most importantly is professional experience. So you do want to start with the most recent role that you've had up the top, and I'd like to put the organization name in bold and then the role underneath that. And then you've got to put down the dates to show when you started and ended that role. So we've got here in dot points is, an outline of what your role is. So worked as an accountant specializing in auditing. Clients included a large multinational bank and large insurance companies. Then particularly if you're a consultant or your role is more project-based, it's really good to list out those key projects and matters that you're involved in. So for example, acting for a large international bank which was seeking repayment of a disputed loan due to breach of contract. My key roles included drafting a deed of settlement and entering into successful negotiations on behalf of the client regarding terms of the deed of settlement and amount to settle the matter. So that sounded really complicated, but it is just an example. This resume is written for someone who was an accountant. And also don't forget to outline the soft skills, so a few dot points. For example, the next one saying successfully managed a project as team leader where we executed an audit that was completed under budget and ahead of schedule, which exceeded expectations. You then may wish to include some interests. Now this is also optional and it's really important to see how long your resume is first because there just might not be room for interests. And then referees down the bottom, and as always, Don't include the referees in your resume, just state available on request. And here's an example, number 2 of a resume that you might like to copy. So with this layout, we've got the name up the top and contact details or a website. And then to the left, you've got your objectives and skills. And then to the right, your experiences, education, and references. So while this contains the same information as example number 1, it's just set out a bit differently. It's really up to you how you wish to lay out your resume, but it's important, like I said, to have the experience up the top, your contact information, and any other relevant information that you think is necessary. So my second tip for you is to tailor your resume to the job description. Now this might sound incredibly obvious, however, you cannot use the same resume for each job that you apply for. What's important is to scan the job ad and find all the keywords and relevant phrases, and then take those words and put them into your resume when you're describing any previous roles or experiences that you've had. This will assist the recruiter in being able to match you up with the job criteria, and it makes it easy for them to determine that you meet all the requirements for the role. Recruiters can also use software to scan your resume. So this software is picking up relevant keywords and phrases that will match the job description. And if you don't have these keywords in your resume, you're really doing yourself a disservice again and making it a lot harder for you to get an interview for the job. So tip number 3 is use power words in your resume. So the language that you use in your resume is so important. And what's really important is to use power words, which are action-oriented words that describe your responsibilities and your skills. So for example, instead of saying responsible for managing a team, you could say orchestrated a high-performing team. Can you see the difference? The second wording makes you sound a lot more accomplished than the first wording does, even though you're describing the same thing. So using power words will really make your accomplishments stand out from the crowd, and it will really make you sound a lot more capable than you might have otherwise written down on your resume. So tip number 4 is to highlight your soft skills in your resume. So it's really important to detail the technical skills that you do have, but it's just as important to talk about your soft skills. So when I talk about soft skills, I mean teamwork, leadership skills, communication skills. These are all just as important in the workplace. Be sure to highlight these skills and experiences in your resume and provide detailed examples of how you have demonstrated them. So tip number 5 is to show the impact that you have made. Recruiters want to hear what impact you've made in your previous roles, on projects that you've participated in, or just in the company in general. So a good way to do this is to use action-oriented words to provide examples of what impacts you have made and the results of your actions in particular projects. So for example, you may have written, developed and executed a social media campaign to raise awareness. So you may want to change this to show your impact by altering some of the words that you've used. So instead, you may write, successfully managed a project that was completed under budget and ahead of schedule. And finally, tip number 6 is to not include referees in your resume, but rather include referees upon request. So typically in the recruitment process, referees are requested later on in the recruitment process, and they're not really required at the beginning. So what I'd recommend is to hold off until the recruiter has reached out to you for that information. By holding off, you're really going to have a lot more control over who has the details of your referees. You're also able to give them a heads up should they be expecting a call from a recruiter, and just confirm with them that their answers are going to shed you in a positive light rather than anything negative. So just be sure that you know that they are going to advocate for you rather than potentially ruin your chances of getting this job. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the tips that I provided you, and hopefully you use them when you apply for your next role. So remember to use a modern and clean layout for your resume and include all the most relevant information up the top of the page. It's really important because the recruiter only takes about 6 seconds to decide if they're going to put you through to the next stage or to put you in the rejection pile. So good luck with applying for your jobs, and if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.